What is going on, folks? I'm Goat, and welcome back to Warframe. Yo, I have a message in Discord and shit. Cool. So, anyway. So, what are we doing, right? What are we doing? Well, we're looking at Styanax, obviously. Quite obviously. Of course, it would help if I turn my goddamn controller on, wouldn't it? Maybe. So, yeah, so we're looking at Styanax. The look has changed a little bit. I kind of like that kind of rusty, you know, I don't know, just this look. This golden brown with the red ribbons. I just think it looks cool. I really don't give a shit if anybody likes it because, again, y'all know me, I'm not much of a fashion framer. So I did a very brief overview of Styanax. Okay, I really did. I didn't really get into great detail, right? Now, the only thing that you're going to see differently is that I've changed one mod because I found it to be more useful to have more duration. Okay, the reason being is because the more duration, the more motherfucking spears that you start, or the more of these goddamn javelins you start just chucking like a motherfucker. So is Styanax perfect? No. No, not at all. No, he's not. Yeah, so like, we got 213% ability strength, which is great, but you don't need it. Okay? Because with corrosive projection, minus 18% armor, that's armor strip, so you technically only need 182. Okay, I did 213 just to do more damage. Okay, this was a little bit more on the conservative side, but again, you know, it's all good, right? It's all good in the hood. Love it. Now, what you can do is, like, you don't have to use something like transient fortitude. You really don't. Okay, you don't even need Umbral Vitality. You can run through with Rolling Guard instead. Coupled with adaptation, you are literally not going to fucking die. You don't necessarily need Arcane Grace. You can actually do Molt Augmented. I mean, there's a lot of ways to go about Styanax. There really is. Okay, but ability range, like, that's a big thing. Like, I tried the Augur set to help buff crits on top, or buff shields with ability usage, okay? Which does help, but the fact that he builds shields anyway kind of doesn't matter, right? Really doesn't matter. So really putting stretch on here is helpful. Once I find that bitch. I've been seeing some people running Streamline on here. Personally, I think the fact that he can build his own fucking energy, as long as you don't go too spam cast happy with him, which there is spots on Steel Path already that is kind of a thing of doing. Okay, like, that's definitely a thing that is a happening thing. All right. Yeah. Yeah, there's some spots that can get a little hairy. So I can see some need for, you know, like efficiency. So you could even take off stretch, funny enough. You can run baseline range, and you can actually put in something like Streamline. I would not recommend Fleeting Expertise because, again, duration is fucking everything. Okay? Duration. But again, I wouldn't take in, like, somebody's going to go, oh, what is it, narrow-minded or over? I think it's narrow-minded. Yeah, duration. But again, you actually tank the fucking range. You don't want to tank the range. The range is generous, okay? At 145% with just stretch on here, the range is very generous. Being 72.5 meters here, okay, 13.05 meters here, okay, 43.5 radius, okay, and then an 8.7 meter explosive range. Yeah, it's a pretty fucking generous range. So you don't need to go overboard with range. You really don't. Like, I kind of thought you needed to at first, and really you don't. It's really more into duration. But you don't want to tank the range, because even though it's very generous range there, if you go swapping that shit out, it's not so generous anymore. You know, but then again, you don't want to sacrifice ability strength to get more range back. You know, so using some corrupteds on here, nah, it's not so polite. It's really not. You know, like, you can take off let's say stretch, right? Put streamline in here, and then just put cunning drift in here for, you know, a little bit more, right? So even then, the range is still going to be 57.5. It's going to be 10.35. It's going to be 34.5 radius, and it's still, I mean, look at that. 54 fucking javelins by increasing duration, right? Just giving an increased duration. I'm telling you, the more duration, the more spears. Crazier she gets. But you're also cutting your nuts off with damage. So I have personally found that my preference is to run some range with some ability strength, not going too crazy with it. And I'm probably going to end up doing one more form. I like this frame so goddamn much that I'm probably going to end up doing an Umbral form on him. I've got a few extra, and I'm really debating about it. But this is kind of the build that I've settled into. Like, this was the build that I started with. Just a little bit of extra buff here. Nothing really crazy. A lot of people are going to be doing a prime sure-footed bit. That's fine. You know, that's not my playstyle, but it's whatever. But this is a very, very survivable, very functional build. He does have a minor hiccup in the fact that if you are in his fourth ability, and then you know, like, his animations are really slow, okay? Like, as far as his first animation, his first ability, third ability, they're pretty slow. Fourth ability is pretty quick. Second ability is pretty quick. The beauty is that you can cast all the other three abilities while you're in the four. Now, the problem with that, though, is that when you cast the first ability, you start rising to the fucking ceiling, which is definitely a bit of a fucking problem if you're in the fourth ability. It's something. So it's just the thing that you just kind of want to pay attention to. You know, like, you don't want to get yourself bugged into a ceiling or get yourself stuck in the rafters and all of a sudden you become target practice. So, you know, just kind of play to your environment, okay? Don't just go super, super crazy with him. But I will say this. Without even getting his weapons yet, because the stupid call mission isn't even able to be farmed yet, I will say that Styanex thus far is an extremely stout frame. I think his kit as a whole, with no subsumes whatsoever, is very good. I think, like, at first I wanted to say that, you know, maybe his 4 was his worst ability, and it's really kind of not, in my opinion, because of the slash procs. Although targeting the slash procs is a little interesting. It's basically line of sight, so but there's no reticle, you know, there's no aiming point, so that's a bit of a problem. The Theros strike is good because it's an armor strip and a health buff, so I definitely want to pull that. This is an energy buff for you and your fucking enemies. Plus, it's kind of an aggros, which just means you're going to get more opportunity to kill enemies. And then the Axios Javelin is literally a fucking straight-up fucking piercing, god-awful piercing CC ability that does function against Eximus. So if you're going to subsume, I think out of all of them, probably the only one I would take off would be the Axios Javelin, but even then, I don't know that I would. Like, I mean, you do you, you know? Definitely you do you, but that's just kind of where it's at. But the thing I do want to talk about, okay? I want to talk about me clicking the fuck out about Veilbreaker because I was very irritated, to be honest. And obviously I got over it very quickly doing the Veilbreaker quest. But the Veilbreaker update, so update 32, which was released on the 7th. Really, my mod turned off. I think I see a problem with what the fuck is going on here, okay? First and foremost, because my complaint this entire year has been over and over, bugs, right? Like, we're all used to seeing a little bit of bugs here and there, but nothing, at least in my tenure since March of 2020, which I know that's only 2.5 years, and this game is 10 fucking years old coming this December, so just a few months away, and this game's hitting its 10-year anniversary. But that being said, in my 2.5 years of time of tenure in this game, so a quarter of this game's tenure, I have yet to come across this many bugs off of this few of updates. Now, granted, I say this few because there was just some patches, and then March hit, and we got, you know, like, we got Angels of Zariman, and then we got the Echoes of Zariman, and then we got, you know, at the same time, we got the Garuda Prime release, just at the same time as the Echoes of Zariman. And then we had Tennokan. And in between Echoes of Zariman and Tennokan, we had that god-awful fucking stack decay bug. We had invincible enemies. We had all sorts of fucking, Zariman wall bug problems, elevator problems, and it was supposed to be fixed, and it wasn't. Arbitrations were almost unfucking playable. And then after Tennokan hit, and they finally started doing the patches from Tennokan, then finally shit started working right again, for the most part, except for the occasional weird arbitration that still bugs out and you can't kill anything or nothing spawns. Or the strange 5-minute immune fucking enemy that just chases you around and just pokes and prods you to death. And it's almost always some trash unit, so it's okay. But what we're going to talk about is I want to show you something here, okay, that's kind of mind-boggling, to be honest, okay? So, turn this off. So here's Veilbreaker, right? That's the Veilbreaker update. Here's update 32. Now, I don't know. For Christ's sake. Let me see if I can fix this shit a little bit, because I really don't care if you guys see what's on my toolbar or my clock or anything like that. Like, you guys can see what fucking time it is, okay? So, like, you guys can see, up here by my login, you guys can see how far up this fucking bar is, just below my camera line, right? So, we're gonna go all the way the fuck down here to where they finally at least made some realistic fixes. There's the first hotfix. What? Hold on. There's the second hotfix. This is the one that they basically got raked over the fucking coals by the community for blasting fucking, battery-operated weapons, and the community fucking exploded at them at the forums, and they went, oh, we better fix that. They're pissed. Yeah, when your Steam fucking rating goes in the toilet the way it did for doing this update, yeah, you best fix that shit. But see, herein lies the problem, right? So, when I said in that slightly ranty vlog of mine about them, my complaint wasn't about the free stuff, but it was about the whole, sorry, I'm grabbing some batteries here. My complaint wasn't about the Steinix free draw problem. That shit happens, okay? It really does. It happens during Tennokan, you get bugged out relays, you get, there's always bugs, especially with a free-to-play game, so I really don't have too many complaints about free drop stuff. If I get it, I get it. That's great. It's free. My complaint was their statement of, we just want to be upfront and honest with our community so everybody knows where we're at. They just kept saying that over and over and over again. We want to be upfront and we want to be honest with our community. Now, if any of y'all want to question me on this shit, go back and watch that 2.5, almost 3-hour dev stream. There is so much focus put into AoE weapons, Steinix, okay, ammo nerfs, mutation mods, and then a tiny bit put into fashion frame, which they always do. A tiny bit put into, the augment mod changes and shit like that, right? But almost all of it was about, oh, look how cool Steinix is. And, and they talked about the armor stripping thing, which was great. I love the fact that they buffed that up to be an actual double-double instead of a double quarter, so, I'm not talking about burgers. But they said upfront and honest, okay? So in 2.5 hours, you explain to me how in the fuck, because they talked about Veilbreaker too, okay? Because see, there's Veilbreaker 32, there's, the hotfix 32.01, hotfix 32.02. Okay? So, delayed on the fucking post calls Garrison, okay? That's a problem. Like, that shouldn't have even been a thing. How the hell are you going to sit there and rave about this shit and then not even be able to get it out right? But whatever. So we can't even do the call missions yet. So that's stupid. So we can't get any of this stuff yet, which is stupid, but whatever. So it's just kind of dumb. Okay, I don't think anybody can disagree with this. But, so we got these Archon mods, but aside from the few people that were able to transmute to get these mods, nobody can get these fucking things yet, so they're selling for ridiculous amounts of platinum, and sadly there are people out there that will pay it rather than just wait, so it's stupid. But they didn't even talk really about Archon mods, so that's okay, that's a thing. They talked about the Archon hunts, and they said, oh, they're going to be so hard. No, see, the mission leading in, they're level 135, And the mission leading in, at least for the first week, was a mobile defense, a defense, and then the Archon hunt. Personally, I found that the defense and the mobile defense were harder than the hunt. I just glaved the motherfucker and he died. Yes, it took a few hits. Because they've kind of damage capped him, so it's fucking stupid. And there's a couple of animations that are okay, but like the Archon hunt is like the least fucking difficult thing to do about it. It's the 2 missions leading into it that's hard. And it's not even hard, it's just more irritating. Because unlike with sorties, and unlike with Steel Path, and even unlike with arbitrations, like the mobile defense, for example, if I remember correctly, it had like, if you go into the Steel Path, your mobile defense target that you have to guard has like 110,000, depending on the level, has somewhere between like 90 and 120,000 fucking health, okay? In the Archon hunt, you're going against level 135 enemies, so, you know, mid-level Steel Path enemies, mid to high-level Steel Path enemies, as far as base start mission, mid-level, you know, Grenier. And your fucking mobile defense target has like 25,000 health. So unless you go in with a healing Warframe, because you can't use fucking consumables, so you can't, it's not like you can just drop a health pad to help heal the bastards back up. So unless you go in with, like, you know, a support frame with the squad, so like Wisp, you ain't keeping that motherfucker alive by yourself. I mean, not very easily, I will say. You obviously can, it's just not as easy as you would think. The defense is a mobile fucking AI controlled, you know, an NPC that literally just meanders all over the fucking map. So you're basically babysitting this motherfucker, because it's not like with arbitration where he just tends to follow one fucking person and then another than another. He just kind of goes somewhere and you just kind of have to go guard him. So it's kind of annoying. I mean, granted, you're not held to the fact of, you know, this particular character is going to follow some idiot in your squad into a certain death, but again, the guy has almost no fucking health. He only has like 1,200 fucking health, and by the end of the mission, the couple of times I've tested it, the poor bastard literally has like 300, 200 health by the time it's all said and done, again, without running Wisp. You get to the Archon hunt, they're like, oh, it's meant to be difficult. No, it's not. Not when you're built right, okay? So, no summons, no cooldown, or no revives, no last, you know, there's a last gasp penalty, you know, blah, 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 blah. Meant to be difficult. You know, and then they talk about basically it's just like a sortie, except that you're guaranteed that you're going to get an Archon shard, which is great, and getting Tau Forges is what you want. Now, I did watch the video for Brozyme. He goes over what the shards do, which is fine. That's great. I was more curious, like, I literally chased down in his video specifically what the shards did and just said, fuck the rest. It's nothing against him. I was just curious and I didn't want to look. You know, so that's that. So that's Archon shards. And, like, it shows here what they did. I just really, honestly, there was so much crap in here, I just wasn't willing to look. Then we get Stynex. I've already covered this. His weapon, the Aphentis. You also get the Slater, which is that piece of shit homemade machete. You get the Egret, which, from what I'm seeing, people who have plat bought it, they're saying that it's kind of like a handheld mine, like grenade-style Kuva Brahma type of weapon. Like, it has the same kind of explosion radius as like the Kuva Brahma, so I guess it's like a grenade. I guess it's like kind of like a mix of Kastanis and a grenade, so that's fine. You know, that's fine. Or the Talon, you know, that's fine. You know, then here's the Warrior pack that got released. Void Shell skins, that's great. Proteus skin, that's great. You know, more Tennogen stuff, more armor stuff, fashion frame stuff, cool beans, whatever. You know, I mean, that's great. Here comes your quality of life stuff. This is where they put the focus, and this is where they literally fucked everybody. Okay? Because I tested this out last night, and at first, this is very specifically to certain weapons, okay? You've got to understand that this is very specifically to certain weapons. Their idea to nerf AoE, which in my opinion, it's not really nerfed as long as you've got a good secondary. But what the fuck is the point in having galvanized mods if you can't even build up stacks with your weapons because you don't have enough ammo to do it? Like, it takes 12 fucking kills to build up a full stack with your galvanized mod, but your Kuva Brahma has like 5 fucking ammo. And unless you are in a crowd of motherfuckers and your mutation mod is kicking fucking full bore, you can only pick up 1 ammo at a time, and you better pray like fuck they're actually dropping ammo, which is kind of hit or miss. So do they still work? Yes. Do you need to be more selective with your targeting rather than just firing blindly down a hallway? Yes. Do galvanized mods really help the AoE of the game as far as AoE weapons? Absolutely not at this point. They really don't. I mean, not unless you get consistent ammo drops, which that's the thing, is that the ammo drops are now inconsistent by design. With that being said, their idea to nerf AoE was to nerf ammo, not nerf the weapons. They did nerf the weapons as far as how much ammo they can pick up. So, okay. That I get. You know, they made a big point about saying that the community was complaining about the obstructive view of AoE weapons to some players in missions. Okay, fine. Limit all the AoE weapons in the game to a certain color scheme. That way they cannot blind the shit out of everybody in the fucking map. Don't let motherfuckers run a Bubonico with fucking lime green fucking energy. Don't let people run a Brahma with a bright orange. You know, let everything be like dark grays and blacks. Seriously, that's an easy fix. Oh, this weapon, this bit of coating right here for this weapon, this is all it gets for energy. Have a nice day. How hard is that? It's easier to do that than it is to do this complete clusterfuck that they did. So, but they put ammo pickup changes, holster speed and buff mod changes, which is good. I will give you that. The mod changes, I'm actually not upset with. Vigilante supplies is basically a fucking joke at this point compared to a base mutation mod, because even though you do get the critical multiplier of Vigilante supplies, it's not enough to fucking feed your fucking shit ammo, so it's fucking useless. Prime Fulmination and Prime Firestorm rebalancing, yeah, that's some bullshit as far as what they paid you back. I don't necessarily disagree with what they did. I just disagree with how they paid us back on that, because I think they kind of skated us kind of low on that, both on the cred and the endo. But cred's easy, okay? Endo, that's more annoying. So they gave us 3 built Forma, 2 Organ Catalyst, 2 reactors. Plus those eligible that own Prime Fulmination, we get 20k endo and 500 credits, which is a right in the butt, my opinion. Then we go to Excalibur, Mag, and Volt, as I said, plus Wukong. They talked about Wukong. That was definitely a thing. And then they talk about the augment mods, right? So let's go through all these augment mods, because this takes a minute. Area of effect weapon changes. They didn't want automated play. We talked about that. That's fine. Ammo changes. Ammo pickup. Then the absolute gutting, I mean absolute fucking gutting of the battery weapons initially, which was so stupid. Like, basically, you would alt-fire the Bubonico and wait until you died for it to recharge, same as the Shido. And the Fulmin. Like, the Fulmin, you would die of old age waiting for that thing to recharge. I tried it once, I went no. But here is basically 1 ammo pickup. Like, the Kuva Ogress is basically dead at this point. The Lens is in a questionable area. The Proboscis Cernos is in a questionable area. The Tonkor and the Kuva Tonkor, like, as okay as those are more base Star Chart weapons anyway. So, like, you can't tell me the gameplay on the base Tonkor and the Kuva Tonkor was really up. So why nerf it? But whatever. I mean, I know it's AoE, but it's really, like, not great. You know, Tenant Envoy, 5 ammo per pickup. I get that, but again, why not nerf the colors instead of just, you know, it's whatever. Carmine Penta, Secure Penta, Ogress, 9 ammo per pickup. Yeah, those are hurting. But you notice the Kuva Ogress is 1 ammo per pickup. The base Ogress is totally fine over here at 5 ammo per pickup. The Tsar still gets 9 ammo per pickup. Oh, I'm sorry, 10 ammo per pickup. The Ogress gets 9. The Torrid gets 15 ammo per pickup. Or no, I'm sorry. Yeah. No, that's right. No, but something like what my Stynex is wielding, the fucking Archiplasmor OP shotgun from fucking hell. This bitch gets 20 ammo per pickup. How many of these are AoE? Not many at all, if any. Like, none. The Exceltra does have an AoE function once the ammunition arms. The Aeolac has an AoE function with its alt fire. Stalta with its alt fire has a very minimal AoE. Tenet Tetra does have an AoE with its alt fire. I mean, bro, like what the fuck? And then yeah, like I said, major gutting of battery override weapons. Real bullshit. Oh. Like, but again, the Archiplasmor got buffed. Tenet Cycron. From 40 seconds to 20 seconds. This is what they initially did. Granted, they fixed the battery operated stuff, okay? It's stupid. Now, again, we're gonna go, and we're gonna look. This holster speed change, I will tell you, it's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful. I love it. Absolutely love it. Holster mod, primary and secondary dexterity arcanes. Okay, let's see here. So you notice streamlined form. I glove. Just saying. So they talk about primary and secondary dexterity here, as far as remove their 60% holster speed bonus. Well, why take it off? Why not just make it additive? Because motherfuckers farmed it. Oh, yeah, let's not give somebody a bonus for farming in this game, even though looter is part of the description of the game, as well as shooter, which they have officially gutted the shit out of half of the shooter function involving primary weapons. So, again, Steel Path, Void Fisher missions, blah, 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 blah. Syndicate pledging. This is fucking annoying on an account that doesn't already have a pledge syndicate, because now there's a perpetual fucking waypoint that's stuck in your cockpit until you actually pick a fucking syndicate. So if you don't feel like running syndicates yet, you're just stuck with this shit. Let it annoy you. This is life. Last gasp, solar rail junctions, specific specter changes, blah blah, junction fixes, gilding changes, operator transference change. That is nice, by the way. There's good stuff in here, okay? Overguard lifesteal changes. Next step towards crossplay. Cool. Sisters of Parvos armor. Dig that. General additions, right? General additions. Dojos / clan changes and fixes. Ignis Wraith research is now available to all fucking clans. Thank you goddamn very much for that. Appreciate ya. Thank fucking God. It only took you, what, 3 fucking years? 2 years? 2.5 years? Because Scarlet Spear was happening right when I first started playing. And that's when... I think it was just before Scarlet Spear when the Ignis Wraith was still available in Dojo, so it took them almost 3 years to fix it. Cool. Love you, bro. Update throne weapons. Yeah, they boogered up some throne weapons here. Some good, some bad. Let's see here. Optimizations. Fixes. Lots of fixes. Okay, so we've gone through all this. Nothing, absolutely fucking nothing in the main fucking update spoken about primary merciless. Now again, we're nerfing ammo, right? What is one of the 3 reasons why anybody in God's green on God's green earth would farm this fucking mod or this arcane? Especially the fact that it's RNG as fuck. Granted, after you get it maxed, it doesn't matter. At that point, you either sell it or trade it to other people that need it. But it's a fact of farming 21 of these motherfuckers to get 3 buffs. 3 goddamn buffs. It was 30% damage for 4 seconds, stacks up to 12 times. 30% reload speed, and the other one was 100% primary ammo capacity, or 100% ammo capacity increase. So basically double ammo cap. Now, if you're taking away the fact of how much an AoE weapon can pick up anyway, and you're changing all primary types of ammo into one inclusive type of ammo, and those weapons are now stuck, even with a mutation mod, only being able to pick up so much, why was this taken off? Because this is pure punishment for every other weapon in the game that requires. Because these came out when the Steel Path came out, or right after the Steel Path came out, for a reason, because you need a fuck ton of ammo. So gutting the 100% ammo off of primary merciless actually targets single target weapons over targeting AoE weapons. So now you've literally attacked almost all primaries. Like, there are certain weapons that are just able to keep up, okay? Something like the Amprex, good to go. It's going to pick up a lot of ammo when you get an ammo pickup. Something like the Tenet Flux Rifle, not so much. Something like the Tenet Tetra, surprisingly, not so much. Something like the fucking Trumna, not so fucking much. Tested all 3 of those. Well, 4. The Amprex did fine. The Phantasma did fine too, by the way. The Phantasma did great. So, into... I just want to point this out because it's like that on secondary merciless too. So back to, here we are at hotfix 30, at the first hotfix, right? So, remove trading and transmuting functionality of the Archon Warframe mods. Well, you know what? You done goofed and you made people fucking wait a week after talking up this big-ass crazy build, or this big-ass crazy update, and then you can't even get it released right, but then you're going to punish people by not being able to trade said mods or transmuting for them? Fuck that. That's bullshit. Your fuck up, let them do how they want. If they can fucking transmute them and get lucky enough for RNG to be nice to them to give them the mods, let them. Steinex inbox was temporarily disabled because people were getting free Steinex. Well, when they disabled the inbox, they disabled the drop. That's where I came in. Archon Hunt changes and fixes. Blah, 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 blah. Veilbreaker quest changes and fixes. General changes. Enabled launcher warnings for systems that don't meet min spec coming to 2023. And then fixes. Again, nothing about primary merciless. Now, hotfix 32.0.2. Guess what? They got their asses ripped. I mean, the amount of fucking messages that they were deleting that were both polite and impolite. Mine was polite, by the way. I said that before. Mine was actually very polite. But mine was polite, and they deleted mine among many others. Now, I don't know if people were reporting them or if it was just the general, get the fuck out of here, we don't want to hear your bullshit, even though we say we do. But basically, all of the battery-operated weapons are now fixed. Because they basically they were dead. They were just no longer viable weapons. You could not use them and survive in missions. Like the Bubonico, like I don't understand, okay? The Bubonico has a very simple function. Now, some people play it stupid. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, some people play the Bubonico very dumb. The Bubonico's design is very simple, okay? You basically alt-fire to prime and status proc enemies because it has a massive status proc if you build it properly, and then you use the primary fire to finish them off. You don't just sit there and alt-fire like a jackass all over the map. You alt-fire at a crowd, and then you primary fire to kill them. That's how the Bubonico is meant to function, and that's how it functions best. If you just alt-fire, all you're going to do is status proc about shit, and they're going to shoot your ass as soon as the DOT's done wearing off, because they ain't going to die on the steel path. They're just going to fucking writhe around and it'll look like fucking suicide bombers, and then they're going to shoot your ass. So, that's stupid, though. So again, we're looking at, you know, like, you must have a rank 30 or formed Warframe to equipped to access Archon hunts. I get that. You don't want to run Archon hunts. I'm telling you right now, as a 135 mission, unless you are 100% sure about your fucking build, I don't know why in the hell somebody would try to run an unranked fucking, you know, or a low-ranked fucking Warframe into a fucking Archon hunt, because you're going to need the maximum capabilities of their fucking abilities most of the ways anyway. Although Warframe abilities don't work against the fucking Archons, just so you're aware. You can fucking use Steinex's 4 against the Archon, and he just like looks at you like, here, let me electrocute you while you're trying, because it don't work. All you see is zeros. But yeah, fix. Fix. Known issue. Excalibur Umbra is unable to pick up his own ammo while using bows. We are actively looking for a solution. Again, nothing in here about primary merciless. So here's where I come in. I posted this 20 hours ago. This is amazingly still in. Okay? I'm going to zoom this in just a skosh. Hopefully just a skosh, so we can all read this. And we'll put there. So this is posting through my second account. I have a primary account that was mastery capped prior to Veilbreaker's release, and started this one as a way to just reinvigorate my love for the game again. That being said, 4 weeks after starting the account, the absolute gutting of ammo struck. To balance AOE in quotations. Now, I agree that balancing weapons out a bit isn't a terrible idea, to put some challenge back in the game. But the issue comes down to removing ammo additions from to the merciless arcanes. With dropping the ammo cap, dropping the ammo drops, And then this insanity makes me really question what the developers were smoking, or at least why they didn't share it. Look, man, I'm not being mean there. That's just the truth. I'm questioning what they were like. Were they drunk? Were they high? Who the fuck thought this was a good idea? Seriously. It's not being mean. I promise you. This was not meant with any malice whatsoever. Sure, everyone's builds. Hold on. Okay, so why they didn't share it. So sure, everyone's builds are what they are, and if you can't kill enemies well enough, well, build them better. But even with well-built weapons with my primary account, the ammo just doesn't seem to keep up with single target weapons as it did once as it once did, and honestly it's down to the arcanes giving that extra buffer to collect more ammo and keep on trucking through higher level content. So my question truthfully comes down to one simple word. Why? Why got one of the only top 3 reasons for farming acolytes for these arcanes to begin with? Why target the AoE side of the game but end up punishing these single target weapons in doing so? What true benefit does a player even find in running the steel path if the developers are just going to harshly trash some of the best drops in the game and expect us to just like it? It is the truth, okay? Again, this is not some kind of toxic post. This is literally just me spitting the truth here, okay? Just spitting bombs. This is truth bombs here, okay? With those questions asked, I'm totally fine with the ammo drop changes, which I am. I'm fine with the change in mutation mods. I am. I'm absolutely fine with calming the AoE meta down just a bit. But that's all joined with the simple fact that I'm only fine with it if the arcanes are put back how they were. Seriously. The Brahma, Tsar, Envoy, Ogress, etc. all have limited ammo and can only pick up limited ammo at a time now anyway, but they choose to rip out the 100% ammo increase to curb it even further for God only knows what reason. It's ludicrous to say the least. I love a challenge in a game that challenges me to work harder to make my builds absolutely dominate the game. And even further understand and I even further understand what the devs want. I understand that the devs want it that way, so we aren't just cheesing through the game. But this is just stupid, folks. I can't fathom a possible reason as to why they think this was a good idea in any way. DE, come on, folks. What gives? Why even take the time to play the game if all you intend to do is punishing the entire community for your design system that works best for excuse me, why even take the time to play the game if all you intend on doing is punishing the entire community for using your design system to work best for us? That's the entire point behind the modding system, by the way. You release arcanes, but now you nerf them. You initially nerfed battery weapons and received enough punishing feedback to immediately fix that mistake rapidly. I didn't put in that, but whatever. Can we please just get it fixed for the arcanes? Leave the rest how it is, and we'll play happily and adapt as we in this community always do. But don't just rip apart your game like this and expect us to thank you for screwing it up after many of us have spent years building. And for primary reference, my primary account's in-game name is Goat80. You'll see the amount of time that I put in, and I'm down for the change. I'm down for alterations to the meta that has become far too overpowering for lower level content, but this is just too far, and it's got to be said. I mean no ill will, and I'm trying and not trying to be toxic in any way whatsoever. I'm just stating the truth, and then I put both of my in-game names in there. Okay? The reason I put this in there is very simple. I don't disagree that something like the Kuva Brahma is extremely overpowering. I don't disagree that you can cheese through missions with the Tsar, with the Ogress, with the Kuva Brahma, with the Tendon Envoy. There's a lot of AoE weapons in this game that you can absolutely cheese the shit out of this game with. So I don't mind them using ammunition as the choice way of nerfing the AoE, because they're all low ammo weapons for the most part, so that's fine. That's totally fine. I'm great with this. Add a little bit more challenge, man. Build good secondaries just in case you need them. There's nothing wrong with that. Build your melees good just in case. Like I played with Wukong. Truthfully, I don't see a problem. My Wukong, this is where I saw the problem. Honestly, look at his weapons. Bubonico, Tenet, Cycron. 2 of the weapons got nerfed. That's where I saw a problem, because I had spent so much time working on those weapons. But aside from that, my Bubonico build is good. My Tenant Cyclone build is good. My Glaive Prime build is good. The double damage, it's whatever. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. The Twin does more than enough damage using my build. So I'm fine with the nerf to Wukong's 1. His buff to the 4 is still useless because the fucking stance for it is garbage. If the stance for that goddamn for that staff that he used was anything but other than what it is, I think anything other than what it is, fuck, stick a dual sword stance on there for that point. I bet it'd probably work better. But the counterintuitive nature of what they're doing this year, I think, is coming down to two simple points. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. And I'm not meaning this in any mean way whatsoever, okay? Hear me out. Please, hear me out before you start fucking raging out in the comments or some shit, okay? Has anybody noticed that the moment Angels of Zariman hit, the updates have been enormous? Bigger. Like, I've been saying it all year. You can go back and look at every fucking update video that I've talked about, okay, this year. They are the size of TennoCon updates. And then TennoCon was twice that this year. The updates have been so goddamn massive. I literally think that they are just biting off far more than they can chew, because they're trying to appease the community entirely too much, instead of handling what they can handle in a reasonable fashion. That's where I think we're at with this, okay? Truthfully, that's 100% where I think we're at with it, with this, okay? And I think I just literally tried to say, hey, look at the weapons that he's got on him, and I was still showing the internet page, because I'm an idiot. Whatever. I think they are over-optimistically looking at what their capabilities are, the fact that they're splitting up their developers but still working in tandem together with things in some fashion on both games. They're building Soulframe to get it ready for release, but they still also have developers from Soulframe still assisting with the last bits of Warframe that they said that they would. But you also have developers from Warframe working on Soulframe. So we've got this commingling thing going on, and then they're doing these gigantic fucking drops for updates. And they're bugged out, they're fucked up. This is the worst I've ever seen updates. Like, this entire year has been just Bugfest Central. Okay? I don't mind them nerfing stuff. I really don't. A lot of people get hella butthurt about it. But them nerfing primary merciless and secondary merciless is absolutely stupid. You want us to focus more towards single target weapons, but then you take away the one positive reason of putting primary merciless, or one of the 3 primary reasons for sticking primary merciless on a single target weapon, is to get that double damage, because it doesn't do the same kind of damage that an AoE weapon does. So you need that extra ammunition in order to kill said enemies, or at least use it more like a primer and then kill them with a melee or your secondary or whatever. But you've got to have some sort of a balance here, and you have completely unbalanced the almost the entirety of the primary weapon system in this game now. Herein lies the problem. I get somebody's going to be like, oh, this is why you have this is why we have secondaries. Well, that's all fine and well, and I agree. You know what? I can walk through this fucking game through the entirety of the Steel Path and use nothing but my Tenant Cyclone and a Glaive, and fuck you, I will beat every mission. I really will. That doesn't mean I want to do it that way. That means I like to have a little spice to my shit. You know? Like, I love the Glaive. I really do. Right? I really do. Guess what? Glaive Prime. Legion. Dual Karis Prime. Glaive Prime. Glaive Prime. Broken War, because high crit. Serrata, another Glaive. Glaive Prime. Guess what? Glaive Prime. Serrata. Another Glaive, you know, Skidjati. Akana, because high slash. Cronin Prime, because, well, you know, it's good procer. Redeemer Prime, because Mag now is really fucking OP, by the way. Glaive Prime. I mean, are we seeing a similarity here? But I've got AoE mixed with a battery chain gun. I've got single target mixed with OP single target. I've got single target OP incarnate form coupled with chain secondary. I've got battery, glaive. Really powerful shotgun, chain secondary, glaive. I mean, are we seeing a pattern here, right? Like, I've got AoE on here. I've got AoE on here. Where's my next AoE? Not so bad. Proboscis Cernos technically counts because of its alternate function. Technically, the Trumna counts for its alternate function, but they didn't really nerf the bejesus out of that thing so bad. So right now I've got one, which technically the Flux Rifle's on there, but I typically run the Brahma on Nezha. So we'll count the Nezha loadout, even though right now it has a Tenet Flux Rifle. So the Brahma on Nezha, the Kuvazar on Zephyr, the Proboscis Cernos on, on Nyx. Kuva Ogress, so there's 4. And 23 loadouts. Now, the Tenet Archoplasmor and the base Archoplasmor are technically area of effect weapons, but they got buffed. So I can't possibly put them in the same category. Okay, I can't. So out of my top 23 loadouts, I have 4 loadouts that have AoE weapons. And even then, I changed to the Flux Rifle because of my testing last night. That should speak leaps and bounds, you know? It really should. One would think. Yeah, there's a lot of people that run AoE. I mean, hell, we can say 5 by calling the Bubonico AoE, even though its alternate function is the only AoE. The rest of it's just a fucking big arm cannon shotgun. That's great. So 5 of 23. And the Trumna and the Bubonico and the Proboscis Cernos, 3 of those 5 are alternate functions of the weapon. So only 2. Okay, 6 actually, because the Ogress is in there. So the Brahma, the Tsar, and the Ogress are in my top 23. So there's 6 out of 23. Only 3 of them are true AoE weapons. And they fit the build. That's the point. I don't understand. I don't understand. There's so many good single target weapons in this game. Why there's such an uproar in the gutting of the ammo for AoE. Because as long as Primary Merciless is still having its 100% ammo, I dare somebody to argue that that buff changes the game for AoE. Because if the pickup is still shit, it doesn't matter. You'll get 10 fucking ammo, but if you only pick up 1 ammo every minute with the fucking Brahma or every 30 seconds with the Brahma, it's going to make it still a really good plausibility of firing off all 10 fucking rounds before you pick up 1. Because people blindly use it, just like the Tsar. Can you still use the weapons? Yeah. Are they still just as powerful? Yeah. You just run out of ammo quicker. But this targets damn near the entirety of single target weapons for primaries. And I dare DE to try to give me a response as to why they think removing that 100% ammo bonus from Primary Merciless and Secondary Merciless is necessary. Just so nobody argues. Because somebody's going to be like, oh, it's still on Secondary. No, it's not. No, it's not. The whole point was you got damage for 4 seconds stacking up to a certain time, right? Until you hit rank 5. And then you got 2 extra bonuses for hitting rank 5. Now you just get reload speed. Well, suck my left testicle, okay? I can mod for reload speed. Or I could just deal with reload speed. I don't need the reload speed buff. Even with the Trumna, I'll deal with that shit. It's nice, but the 100% ammo for a fucking, like, something like the Trumna, it has a 200 round magazine. So it means you get to reload your gun twice. And pray like fuck there's enough ammo to pick up to actually replenish your gun, which half the time there is not. It's a single target weapon. Tenet Flux Rifle, 1,400 rounds, but it fires at the speed of Jesus Christ. Like, ludicrous speed. So you plow through ammo at an insane fucking rate. 1,200 rounds. And it says You can pick up 80 rounds at a pop. You gotta get the drops. This is bullshit. This is total bullshit, guys. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, I want to defend him. And there's a lot of good in this update, even with the bugs, even with the fact that we can't fucking farm stuff yet because they weren't prepared for their own fucking update. I keep saying it. Wait. There was no set release date. They never gave us a release date for Veilbreaker. They could have waited a week. And we'd have never fucking been the wiser. For Veilbreaker. For being able to farm Call's Garrison. But instead, you want to hang the carrot in front of the horse and then try to lead the horse to water that way. Digital Extremes has got to stop biting off more than they can chew. They've got to actually take reasonable updates. Because if they keep doing these insanely large updates, this game is going to die hard with a vengeance, and it's going to sadden me greatly. Because I do love this game. It is a fun-ass game to play. Even with its problems. It is a fun-ass game to play. Now, am I going to feel that way in a month if they don't fix Primary Merciless, and I'm sitting here running out of ammo all the fucking time and running for my goddamn life, trying to use a secondary to kill everything? I'll be annoyed, but I'll still be having fun because it's challenging. They need to fix this, though. This is absolutely ludicrous as to why in the fuck they did it. You're gonna, take something off of dexterity, which is one of the bonuses as to why you get it to rank 5 to begin with, off of primary and secondary dexterity, and then you're gonna take something off of primary and secondary merciless and never even tell anybody about it. That's the funny thing. You can read through every single bit of the patch notes. They never once mention anything about primary or secondary merciless. It's just like this assumed thing. Oh, we nerfed ammo? Well, that's gone too. You might as well just understand that because, you've got a magic 8-ball that reads you all this information. I don't know. It's fucking dumb. So either way, I'm gonna stop complaining because there's no fucking point. Okay, there really isn't. There's no point. And I'm not trying to be bitchy, negative Nancy here. I'm really not. But I wanted to elaborate in a less emotionally frustrated state of where my gripe really lies with the Veilbreaker update. And where it lies is the fact that their sole target was to go after AoE weapons, and in turn they've targeted almost the entirety of primaries. DE, this is the most polite way I can possibly put this, okay? With primary and secondary merciless having that 100% ammo max taken off, the phrase now comes in, DE, fix your shit. Or as Monster would put it, with Digital Extremes, it's nerf or nothing. He's been saying it all week. It's hard to argue the point, right? Like, Monster loves AoE weapons, and they've nerfed the shit out of weapons that he loves. I get his frustration. My frustration lies in the fact that I love single-target weapons more than I like AoE weapons. Truthfully, I really do. And the fact that they have nerfed my single-target weapons alongside of what they considered to be more problematic AoE weapons is highly, highly frustrating to me. So it's whatever. It's annoying. Such is life. Okay? So I want to thank you folks very much for just giving me your ear on this. Again, it's like I said, I came into that vlog on Thursday emotional and irritated and just generally very frustrated with how in the hell they had approached this by saying upfront and honest, and then they gave us this ball of trash and stuck a dick in our butt, right? And said, you enjoy that, right? They fixed some of it. They got one more fix they really need to do. Okay? If they can do that last fix to those arcanes, I can deal with the rest. I personally can. And I know this isn't about me, but there's a lot. You go look at the Warframe forum under the ammo changes. Okay? There's so many people complaining about either their preferred weapon is now dead because of the ammo change, or why did they gut the merciless arcanes. I swear to God, there are hundreds of fucking posts about this. I am not the only one, okay? So, folks, thank you very much for watching. As always, we'll catch you in the next one, all right?